Hello there, my name is Victor Ogunyika, and you're welcome to the midweek edition of Today in the News, and of course all of those newspapers across the Federation, and looking at the major headlines everywhere.
Over 1,000 people are benefiting from free medical services provided by the FCT chapter.
Arsenal's first club transfer record signed.
Hello and good morning. Of course, welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Precious Chupudi, and I would run with you the front pages of the papers this morning. We're starting off with the Vanguard newspaper. And on the front page of Vanguard, we have a main headline: electricity tariff, fuel price hike, NLC, TUC strike, mass protest begins Monday. The writer says direct state councils to intensify mobilization of workers, other Nigerians. TUC extends a strike notice to tally with NLC's deadline as security agencies stop protests in Kano. The stories above, we have there will be no more paid mercy for Oshiomhole if Obaseki says, and says fight between him and Oshiomhole over. Says if allowed, Tinubu Oshiomhole will destroy our democracy. INEC issues him a tribal certificate of return. Also on page 19, CBN cuts monetary rates to 11.5%, calls for urgent fiscal measures against inflation. And stories beneath, we have COVID-19 as a second wave reaches, domestic airline jettisons fiscal distancing. You can see that story on page 9, and on page 8 we have economic growth. Nigeria should diversify, says Sanusi. And on page 14, the federal government has no hidden agenda. National water bill, not Ruga replacement, says Lai Mohammed. And there's also a photo story of Obaseki gets a certificate of return. That's what we have on the front page of Vanguard. And away from Vanguard, move straight to the Punch newspaper. Main headline of the Punch newspaper says Water Resources Bill, Afenifere Ohaneze, others tackle government as federal government says critics ill-informed. And the writer says it's been opposed by those who have access to media. Minister also 8 Senate rejected proposed law. We will kill it again, vows Abaribe. And on stories above, we have Kiari decries a PIB delay, says foreign investors lose confidence. You can see that story on page 17. And away from the Punch newspaper, we move straight to This Day newspaper. And on This Day, we have Tinubu Oshiomhole are extra constitutional players. Danger to democracy, says Obaseki. Extend Oli branch to Ize Yamo, dismisses suspected plans to return to APC. Also, desirous of spurring lending, CBN cuts MPR to 11.5%. Away from This Day newspaper, we move straight to The Nation. And on the Nation newspaper, main headline, we have petrol price, electricity tariff, Labour set to begin strike. The writer says federal government to meet with NLC, TUC tomorrow in continuous dialogue. Also, rainstorm displaces 15,000 in Kwara. Ocean traders lament. You can see that story on page 5. And lastly, on page 5, we have directors to track revenue in NNPC, FIRS, Custom, Oyo Police, OPC lay claims to arrest of bandits. You can see that story still on page 5. And that's all we have for you on the front pages of the papers this morning. We would like to sincerely apologize over the comments that were made on our platform on Saturday, the 19th of September 2020, by the governorship candidate of the Senate Labour Party, ZLP, where he allegedly accused the son of the incumbent governor of Ondo State, Mr. Babajide Akeredolu, over financial impropriety. and we deeply regret whatever inconveniences or injury these comments must have caused the person of Babajide Akeredolu. We deeply regret the comment. Alright, we're going to go on a very short break. When we come back, we have a guest in the studio who will be analyzing the front pages of the papers with us. Stay with us. Alright, welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's still today in the news on Vanguard Live. My name is Precious Chupudi, and of course, this is the newspaper analysis segment where we'll be joined in by our guest who's already in the studio. He's the person of Mr. Aliu Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord newspaper. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Alright, let's talk about what we have right now trending, and Obaseki said there will be no mercy for Oshiomhole if he creates problems in the state via negative remarks. And is there a chance that Oshiomhole might want to say more things about Obaseki, seeing that he has already won Edo State already?
I am disappointed by the statement credited to Obaseki. A statesman would be like him should be magnanimous in victory. He shouldn't be issuing out threats at this time. The election has been won and it has been lost. One expects him to embrace reconciliation at this stage. He cannot run that state alone, for God's sake. He cannot run the state alone. And this was how the crisis between him and the other group of people degenerated to an irreconcilable level. Somebody being obstinate, somebody not giving in to reconciliation. He has started again. It is wrong. He should be magnanimous in victory. He should invite these people to join his government, to cooperate with him as a governor, and move the state forward at this stage, not to be issuing out threats to the opposition. I condemn that statement. It is in bad taste. Oh, yes, they had a grounds. The election has been won and it has been lost, for God's sake. He should embrace reconciliation at this stage, not threatening anybody. That's a statement that is unstatesmanly on the part of the governor. He is not God, for God's sake. The other side are not talking. And he has won an election, he has collected his certificate, and you are still threatening people. It is in bad taste. It is in bad. All reasonable people, including the Oba of Benin, should call the governor to order. It is wrong. He wants to start another battle. I hope he will be able to face it at this stage. He is distracting himself. I hope Obaseki will not turn out to be a problem for himself with these statements.
Still speaking about the statement that he's been making, before his election, we saw that, the national leader of the ABC party, put out a video. It was everywhere on social media where he was telling people not to vote for him because he comes out as a dictator. Now he has come back to say that, that Oshiomhole and also Asiwaju Bola Ahmed they are threats to democracy. What are your thoughts to that statement?
His own statement is more of a threat to democracy after victory than what those people did. Concerning the video that was circulated by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it was a very wrong strategy. People of Edo State saw that strategy as an attempt to annex the state, just like what we have in Lagos State, and that gave rise to the widespread condemnation and the slang or slogan that Edo not be Lagos. It contributed a lot to the loss of that state by APC. I expect the strategists that Asiwaju have to have advised him against that video. It was in bad taste. But unfortunately, whatever damage the video may have done, Obaseki's statement yesterday is going to do more damage, extremely serious damage in Edo State than what Tinubu's statement did. So I expect that by now the two camps should embrace peace and stop issuing threats to the other to the camp that has just lost an election. If they take that threat seriously, there won't be peace in Edo State. So somebody should talk to the governor to just keep quiet. If he doesn't know what to say, he should keep quiet, for God's sake, and allow peace to reign in Edo State. I am from that state. The tension that had taken over that state in the last 2 months, it was extreme, and people feared for their lives, and that's why we didn't have some very, very prominent Edo people going to Edo State during that election period, because people feared for their lives. But we thank God for the security agents that were sent to conduct or to ensure peace during the election. I give kudos to them. They were not partisan. If they were partisan, we won't be talking about peace in Edo State today. So I commend them for the way they have handled that election. Because left to these two camps, Edo State by today would have been a battlefront. But I give kudos to the security men on the way they handled the elections in Edo State.
All right, one of the normal things with politicians is how they cross carpet from one party to another party. Now, the governor of Edo State right now has moved to the PDP party. Is there a chance that he might later in the future want to come back to the APC party?
You see, with politicians, there are no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. What I find funny is a situation where a sitting governor will move from his party and still remain governor. I don't know if that's anomaly. I see it as an anomaly. If you are leaving a party that's voted you into power, you should automatically resign from the position that you got through that party. I don't know if any lawyer has tested this in court and have a judgment about it. It is wrong. If you are leaving a political party, you should resign. Once politicians know that if they are leaving the party that voted them into power, they have to give up the office they hold, then there will be some discipline about people cross-carpeting with ease from one party to another in Nigeria. That is one of the sore points of our politics in Nigeria. People cross-carpeting and refusing to resign. It happened in Ondo State. The deputy governor was going into another party and he was still holding on to the post of deputy governor, which he got through the APC. That is wrong. So we must get our lawyers to test this anomaly in courts and let the courts give a verdict that will serve as a precedent to politicians that want to move from one party to another and still want to retain the office they got through the party they are leaving. Obaseki tomorrow, he said it that he was just going to leave APC to win the election and come back to APC. You can't rule it out. So if he is going back to APC, what will be the future of the people that gave up that position for him when he got to PDP? PDP had three candidates that wanted to contest for governorship, and Obaseki came, displaced them from what we had with a lot of dollars and all that. What happens to them? How would you want them to feel if tomorrow he crosses to APC? So that is why I think that there should be a law forbidding political office holders from just leaving their parties and still holding on to the position that they held through the party they are leaving.
All right, you made mention of a lot of dollars, and do you really know about that? Because it's a very big statement to mention that he gave some people a lot of dollars.
It was all over the place. It was all over the place. I'm from Edo State. I went to Edo State at about the time they were campaigning. It was a major issue. It's an allegation, yes.
But
I have not talked about anybody particularly here, but we had that a lot of dollars exchanged hands.
Do you have an evidence? Because it's one thing.
I will not come up with any evidence, but those active players, the active players in that process are our very close friends. So it is not about somebody making an allegation that you cannot substantiate. No.
But the same active players you're talking about can actually make any form of statement just because they want to say some things.
But we've had the Obaseki camp telling Oshiomhole that people gave him dollars to get offices when he was chairman of APC. Has anybody reacted to that? These are campaign issues, for God's sake. Has Azize Iyamu gone to court to sue Oshiomhole for calling him a cultist? He has not gone, because they like Oshiomhole said, they are mere political statements. So you cannot allude any truth to such allegations that were flying during elections. So that is it. It remains an allegation, and if anybody wants to sue and allude that the allegation was made against him, then he's going to pursue a wrong course.
All right, we want to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll discuss further on other issues. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I still have Mr. Aliyu Mohammed in the studio. We've been discussing a lot. Okay, let's talk about the electricity tariff hike, and the Nigerian Labour Congress has directed state councils to intensify the mobilization of workers and other Nigerians to prepare for strike on September 28th. And how effective will this strike? Seeing that some Nigerians attempted to protest in Kano and they were frustrated by security agencies.
You see, it is difficult to come out categorically to say if the strike will be successful or not. But one thing I know is that Nigerians, as tough as the economic situation is with Nigerians, they are not ready for anything that will disrupt their daily bread as at today, because a lot of people are yet to recover from the effects of COVID-19 lockdown. You understand? And if you are asking people to stay at home again, there might be a level of resentment. I sense that. As bad as that policy may look, people don't want anything that will disrupt their lives now. All this would have been sorted out at the level of negotiation for this electricity tariff increment and the fuel price increment. I don't know whether they carried the labor along, but a democratic government is expected to involve trade unions in this kind of decision-making process. But I can tell you, from what I have seen outside, I don't think people are ready for any disruption of their means of livelihood now. The labor is playing the role that it should play, but it takes the people to help them achieve whatever aim they want to achieve. Are the people ready for this kind of strike? No. Anything that will shut down Nigeria now, I'm not sure the people are ready. So we have to be careful in handling this we will shut down Nigeria slogan that I am hearing. People are not ready. People are not in the mood for anything that will disrupt their means of livelihood now. So they should gauge the mood of the nation. They should gauge the mood of the people before saying that you want to shut down Nigeria. Shut down Nigeria. What are you providing for those who will not be able to come out to feed? We can see the effect of the shutting down of Nigeria on a lot of people, on a lot of businesses. So many businesses have died. So many people have been sent out of jobs. They are struggling to make ends meet. And you are talking about shutting down Nigeria again. What happens to negotiations? You know, they should negotiate with government, and if they insist on going on strike, I sense resentment here. So they have to be very careful.
Okay, I would like to ask you, would you say that the privatization of the electricity subsector has yielded positive results over the years?
It's not even up to a month. It's not, I can't see any result, because as of today, we still see people talking about crazy bills. So what is the essence of the increment? If you have increased the tariffs, we expect that by now you should be circulating good meters that will give you the precise amount of power consumed by everybody. Still, a lot of homes are still there without meters. Even in my office, we were cut off last week over less than 20,000 naira bill. You understand? And you have a situation where you are talking about hiking electricity tariff. How do you justify your hike if I, as a consumer, do not have a good means of gauging the level of power that I have used? You just come up with a crazy bill, and within 1 week you want people to pay without questioning. It is wrong. They should let people have access to prepaid meters, at least, just as directed by the president of the country. They should circulate prepaid meter. I learned that these meters are available in some places, but the electricity distribution companies are genuinely or illegally holding on to them because they want to make more money from crazy bills. That is wrong. We should stop extorting depressed Nigerians. It is high time we stop that nonsense and get people with prepaid meter, and that is the only way we can cushion the effects of this hike on the people, because people must have their genuine consumption rates given to them, not crazy bills. We still have crazy bills all over the place, and I think that should stop.
All right, so before now we had the whole protest of 30,000 naira minimum wage. Now, seeing that we were experiencing fuel price hike, do you think that it has eroded the gains of the
completely? And I'm surprised that the government said that they are not considering a wage increase now. It is when you are increasing fuel price, you are increasing electricity tariff, it should be matched with an increase in salaries. If you have a staff now that has been living on the old salary that he has been earning before the fuel price increase and the electricity tariff increase, chances are that such a person may have problems. You pay somebody a salary that is supposed to take him or her through a month, and within 10 days that salary is gone. If that person have access to your money, he will steal it. If he's not disciplined, he will steal it because his salary is gone and he must survive by all means. I am not justifying stealing, but chances are that somebody who is poorly paid will be exposed to all sorts of temptations in order to make ends meet.
All right, with the issue of deregulation be a continuous expectation if it's import driven?
I don't understand your question, please.
Like, the issues of deregulation, will it continue to be a strong expectation on the people if it's import?
It will be. Look, In countries that have deregulated, they have functional refineries. But we don't have one functional refineries. We have not created a level playing field for the participants in the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. You have only deregulated, and you are importing fuel at a time that the rate of the dollar to the naira is skyrocketing. There is no how we will continue to enjoy appropriate pricing. If you have refineries that are producing refined products, and you give letters of credit to people to import and have an even level of marketing within Nigeria, then the people will have a choice. An average refinery may decide to reduce the price of its products, and people will have a choice to either pick their products from such marketers or from those who are importing. But for God's sake, we have been importing refined products and exporting our crude. Does that make a simple economic sense? No. We are an oil producing country. You produce your crude, sell it out, and now import refined products. The products that you have imported could even erode the profit you are making from the sale of crude. It doesn't make a simple economic sense. Licensed refineries, give licenses to private refineries, let them operate in Nigeria. If you license at least 10 of them, we've been talking about these private refineries for about 15 years now. The government has not taken any step to get them licensed. The ones that have been licensed cannot operate because they are not sure of the source of their raw materials, which is crude. Does that make sense? And so for as long as you continue to import and the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar continue to rise, I pity the poor people of Nigeria that will be at the receiving end of the effect of this action, because the cost of price, petroleum products, will continue to go up for as long as the rate of the naira to the dollar is skyrocketing. And so the best thing, the only thing that will make economic sense and that will bring relief to the people of Nigeria is to have modular. We are not saying build giant refineries, modular refineries that can produce what we can consume daily, and then you provide a level playing field for the importers and the local producers of petroleum products. That's the only solution. Anything out of that will be a big problem for the people of Nigeria.
Okay, still speaking about economic growth, how exactly do you think that we can diversify our economic?
Yeah, we are paying lip service to diversification. You say people should go into farming. They go into farming, they don't have access to inputs like seedlings, they don't have access to all they need. You don't support them with loans. In other environments, they give them tax holiday. If you are starting a farm, for instance, they give you tax holiday for 2-3 years. But here, if you start a farm, you are going to pay local government rates. The same day you are starting, you are going to pay levies, you are going to pay land charges, all sorts of charges on somebody that is just starting a farm. How do you want that farm to survive? If you want to start small and you have all those levies that will run into thousands of naira, it could erode the gains that you are likely to have in the first few weeks or few months of your operation. But I expect government to give tax holidays, incentives like loans, or even on the loans, you give them a period of grace within which they can start the payment. Not that somebody has taken a loan today, from the next month you want him to pay. How will he pay? And that is why we have bad loans all over the country. You see banks taking people, closing businesses down because they can't pay the loans they collected. I have taken a loan of 10 million. I'm investing 10 million. I have not made the possibility that if you invest and you start making profit within 1 month is remote. Give them a period of grace, maybe 6 months, 1 year. Let them make enough profits and they start paying back your loan. But here, if you collect a loan in September, by the end of October, they expect you to pay. It is wrong. They must encourage investors. We must encourage investors with so many incentives and allow their businesses to grow. The same government that is saying diversify should come out with how they want to help small-scale industries. They said there is a loan that industry will access and all that. People should apply online. Up till today, there has not been any small-scale industrialists that have had access to that loan that I know. It is just it is like a deceit. The government is giving a loan. How many people have accessed that loan? Not many. So we must stop paying lip service to diversification. We must encourage people. We have the Exports Promotion Council. How are they assisting people to export whatever they want to export from here? How many of their offices are functional? No. Most of their offices are not even in Lagos. The only office that I know is in Abuja that is functional. There was a time we attempted to export some products out of the country. We tried to see them in their Lagos office. Most of the time, they will tell you that the people that should talk to us are in Abuja. It is wrong. If you want to support export and reduce the pressure on the dollar, you have to encourage people. You have to provide incentives. You have to guide people. You have to advise them on how to go about it. So that when they start, it won't stop. Not that you will export today and tomorrow you don't have the money to export.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Mohammed, former editor of Daily Times and Concord, and also CEO of Magnet Communications. Thank you for joining us this morning. Also, we want to say that comments made on this show are those of our commentators and not necessarily the position of Vanguard Live TV or Vanguard newspaper. And we would also like to sincerely apologize over the comments that were made on our platform on Saturday, the 19th September 2020 by the governorship candidate of the Zen Labour Party, ZLP, where he allegedly accused the son of the incumbent governor of Ondo State, that's Mr. Babajide Akeredolu, over financial impropriety. We deeply regret that whatever inconveniences or injuries those comments must have cost the person of Mr. Babajide Akeredolu. Also remember that you can equally like, share and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen, as well as you can go on our website to find out more on our top stories at www.vanguardngr.com. And till I come away next time, of course, I remain Precious Chukudi. Thank you for watching.